Alright, where do I want to go next? I want to go up or down? Let's go up first. Yeah. We'll do family relations last. Why is there 3? Oh, is it the whole Hawk family going on over here? Sure, let's do that. The Band of the Wolf. Oh, hello, angry woman.
The wolves are the enemy! What else would you call them? Oh, sorry. My husband was murdered recently. He was involved in a scuffle with a lady of that faction the other day. It must be revenge for that! Only the wolves could kill in such a cruel way!
Everybody's blaming everybody. Old man from town. They're no good. No good at all. We of the Hawk Clan uphold the will of the Lord and defend order in this town. The others simply get together in packs. They have no power to organize themselves. They are much too naive. Alright. Man, can't believe the amount of characters they did sprites for. It's very impressive. Oh, hello, you.
What? The wolves? It's their fault the town is in a bad state. They attack the Hawks every chance they get. All of these fights are because of them. They're so annoying. Stop talking about it. It's starting to piss me off.
Okay. What about the private army?
I think the town is relatively peaceful. The tax collection is hard work, though.
There aren't any attacks from other towns, but there is someone called the Black Shadow that's going around murdering people.
But that's about it. It's relatively peaceful, don't you think?
So there's only 2 guys in the army of the Hawk? At least that we've met. There's at least 3 in the Wolf Vigilante army. Who's in the Alliance? Well, hello. You look very friendly indeed.
If I had to say, I do like it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a member of the Alliance.
This guy.
Right. We serve the Hawk Lord, but we are working to make this town a better place.
We operate by the proud will of the Hawk and the goal of keeping the peace. And yet, those wolves always heckle us.
Okay, so we got some Hawk young men as well. Delightful. And now, family relations. There was someone standing still in the deathly silent alleyway as the snow softly fell upon his brow. Is that Lugus? What's he doing here? As I looked on, it seemed like he was comparing whatever was in his notebook with the houses and streets. Lugus had the eyes of a hawk, and he was looking for something without bringing any of the hawk's attendants with him. I recognized that look from before. It was from when he was investigating the murders. I had come across Lugus during one of those instances. He also glared at me back then with a palpable murderous intent. I wonder if something happened again. Thinking that it could be a murder made me uneasy. I prayed that the murderer would be caught soon. I don't want Lugus to mistake me as the perpetrator again. There was no need to call out to him, so I quietly went back toward the square. But before I could move away, I heard Lugus's sharp voice echo in the alley.
Stop!
Ugh! He found me. I gave up on escaping and looked at Lugus. He slowly walked over to me. Did you want something?
I told you before that I would capture you the next time I saw you. What were you doing here?
What? Do I have to answer that?
Of course. As long as you live in this town, you do.
He said that in such a high-handed manner, so I had to respond in kind. I think there's a better way for you to ask.
Then let me ask you again. What were you doing here? Answer me at once.
He might be in a bad mood, or maybe he just didn't like me. Either way, he didn't have to be so mean about it. Though irritated at the situation, I proceeded to explain. If you're still on the hunt for the murderer, I don't want to be falsely accused, so I was trying to move away.
You're an honest one.
There's no point in lying.
Then let me ask you something else.
Are you interrogating me? He ignored my question. He never listened to me.
Tell me everything you know about the Lady of the Wolf Clan, Francisca, and her sons.
I didn't think I was going to be surprised at whatever question he had for me, but this caught me off guard. Huh? What?
Tell me everything you know. You grew up in that manor, did you not? I know you were as close to the sons as family.
That's true. But did you snoop around on us? For what purpose?
I'm the one asking the questions. Tell me everything the wolves do on a regular basis. It'll do you no good to keep secrets from me.
I started to become angered. Why did I have to be asked this? He was making it seem like they were the culprits. I don't mind telling you what I know, but stop talking as if you've already assumed they're the culprits. And this isn't about me, but more about them.
I don't care what you think of it. Tell me what the Lady of the Wolves and her sons were doing on the night of the murder. Answer me.
If there's something you want to know, then ask them yourself.
Whoa! Levon! Levon!
The wolf heir.
I was overjoyed at my rescue, but only for a brief moment. The situation was really bad.
If you want to visit Mother, I can welcome you as a formal guest. There's nothing for us to hide. And it's the same about your questioning about me. If you wish to know, then ask me directly. Don't do it in the alleyway like this. Do it in a formal setting and we'll have the truth be known.
It appears that the son of the wolf is fixated on formalities.
That's only because the hawk lives in a lawless society.
We have our own way of doing things. I simply move according to what I think is top priority.
If you consider yourself a leader, you'll need to learn how to let others know what you think.
This is scary. Sparks were flying. I was angry just a moment ago, but I would never be able to have an exchange like this. While I was thinking that, Lugus declared something as he and Levon stood facing each other.
Then I'll tell you this. With regards to the Black Shadow, the Lady of the Wolves is no exception. Unless you want to see more corpses piled up, stay inside your manor at night.
What's that supposed to mean?
Everyone's so vague in this town. Before Levon could continue, Lugus had walked away. The last thing he said felt so ominous.
Jed, sorry you had to go through this. I'm sure he asked you a lot of questions.
Huh? I don't mind that at all. It's not your fault, Levon.
Right. I'm glad I just happened to be in the area.
Were you going somewhere?
I was on my way home after looking at some swords, but... I wonder. Why did Lugus confront me like that?
I couldn't make sense of what Lugus was driving at, but the root of why he acted that way was probably because... I don't know everything, but it seems that Lugus is investigating the Black Shadow.
The Black Shadow?
It's the rumor going around town. Haven't you heard? There's been a string of murders, and that's what they call the culprit.
I know there are recent murder cases, but that's the first time I've heard the name Black Shadow.
I think the incidents and the rumors are being taken care of by the Hawks mostly. I see Lugus investigating it by himself a lot. Levon looked slightly dissatisfied at my explanation.
If that's the case, everyone should be properly informed on it, rather than relying on uncertain rumors.
I don't know about that, but the murderer supposedly uses a knife with a hawk feather motif.
A hawk. So that's why he's reluctant about making it better known.
I don't know, but
There are people who are unsatisfied with the Hawk clan. Rumor is that they are murdering those who are a part of us. It is required of me to crush these rumors before they reach the Hawk Lord, especially so if it sullies father's name.
I didn't know if the culprit was a hawk or a wolf, only that everyone was a potential suspect. That's what he said then. Lugus was very seriously investigating the rumors to solve the case. I think he needs to be better at asking questions, though.
What do you think he meant by staying inside the manor?
Maybe he meant to stay indoors and lock the doors and windows because it's dangerous outside? My floundering words made Levon laugh.
I don't know what happened, but you're oddly kind to Lugus.
That wasn't my intention. It just seems to me that he is working hard to make sure Algar's name isn't sullied. I understand if it's about taking care of your family.
I see. So, it's for his father.
Levon looked to the ground while seemingly in thought. He then smiled once more.
I'm envious that he has a father he can love that way.
Huh?
I'll try to investigate things from my end. There might also be a need to increase patrols. I'm glad you told me about this.
Yeah. Good luck with your work.
Yeah. See you later.
He was probably going back on patrol. Levon quickly left the alleyway. After seeing Levon off, I couldn't shake off this feeling. Envious? Of Lugus and Olgar? I thought Levon hated them. Previously, I assumed anyone among the wolves thought that way. But Levon said he envied them. Speaking of which, Levon's and Levi's father is... Yep, I knew you weren't gonna tell me nothing, girl. I'm not even gonna bother voicing my questions about, well, what happened to Lugus's mom and what happened to Levon's dad, because not getting that answered anytime soon.
I see. I figured something was up.
Huh? I suddenly heard a voice from behind and frantically spun around. You scared me. Were you listening in?
Yeah, all of it. Man, that Lugus guy is annoying. I was so close to slashing him from behind.
Levi?
I'm kidding. But he was up against Levon, so I knew it'd be all right.
Say, Levi, are you envious of Lugus and Olgar?
Huh? Oh, is this about that thing from earlier? I don't know about that. I don't really understand what fathers really do.
I don't know. I repeated that line in my head. Levi seemed to say it so plainly.
He died when I was a kid, so I don't remember much. I don't have a desire to see him either.
Okay, so your dad's dead. At least that's something. You don't want to?
It seems like Levon and Mother had a tough time because of him. After seeing that, I can't say I want to meet him. You probably shouldn't talk about this in front of Mother. It'll get awkward like it did last time.
I see. Levi gently placed his hand on my head.
That topic wouldn't come up if you live your life as usual. You don't need to worry about it at all.
Really?
I need to get going soon. I might get yelled at for skipping out again.
Well, aren't you skipping out?
It's just a break, I swear. See you later.
Levi ran in the direction Levon walked off to. The Black Shadow. The confrontation between Lugus and Levon. And Levon's and Levi's late father. There were too many things to think about. But it was also a fact that thinking about them wouldn't solve a thing. This wasn't something I could insinuate myself into. But, yeah. A father. There was nothing wrong with thinking about a father whom you've never met. I wondered what mine was like. Would he be the kind of person that commanded respect, in the way that Lugus respected Olgar? Or would he be the kind that was to be avoided, like Lavon's and Levi's father? How would he smile? What would he like? If we were to live together, what would our lives be like? How would he say good morning when we woke up? How would he say good night? What would happen if I had a bad dream? How would he comfort me then? Our girl's having an existential crisis over here. I pictured many things in my fantasy and slowly closed my eyes. Then slowly opened them. Not even a mirage of my father was there. Keep wondering if any of this stuff is significant in any way. Maybe we'll find out one day. What is this, by the way? That's Hawk Manor. Okay. To the tower, I guess we go. Is my boy finally back from wherever he goes? He's back! Ah, I've missed you. Where have you been?
You seem to ask strange things. But that is correct. I do have a diligent servant that works daily. The servant is quite diligent, but has a tendency to overwork. I would appreciate it if I was not forced to worry so much. As a ghost that doesn't know how to deal with frozen bread, I cannot live alone. Does this answer satisfy you?
Not really, but sure. I'll pretend it does. A human failure. We get a snowflake. And a question mark. Does it actually show? No, it doesn't. Okay. There's our girl. Going back and forth between the tower and the town is tiring. Walking through the snowy forest took a lot of energy, but I had a reason to go back, so there was nothing I could do about it. I wonder if Ashen Hawk is here, she says, as if she hadn't just talked to him. I lightly brushed off the snow, shifting the weight of my bag as I opened the door. It's a good sound. What? Upon entering, a surprised yell escaped me. There were down feathers in piles here and there on the floor. Why are there feathers here? Did a chicken wander in here or something? In the snow? That's a funny joke if I ever heard one. Anyway. I feel like that's a reference to something, but I don't know what it is. I placed my bag to the side of the kitchen and took out a broom from the closet to clean up the feathers. They started at the entrance of the tower, and continued to the kitchen, onto the windowsill, the fireplace, and trailed toward the chairs. And the one sitting on a chair was Ashen Hawk, lazily staring at a glass bottle. The culprit is too obvious! While gripping the broom tightly, I swept the floor. And when I got to the chair, I shouted, "Ashen Hawk!" After all this cleaning, Ashen responded as if he just noticed me.
Oh, welcome home. You're back early today.
I'm not done working! I was given lots of food as compensation, so I wanted to leave some here. What? Wait, that's not what I meant!
Why the rush? Want me to make you some tea so you can calm down?
You're going to make me brew the tea, aren't you?
I'm the only one who knows where the tea leaves are.
It was the usual exchange, but I didn't want to hear it in this situation. Just do something about all these feathers!
Feathers?
As if he just noticed them, he plucked one of the feathers off the floor. I cleaned up most of them, but there were still some here and there.
Ah, I didn't notice. I suppose it's that time of year for shedding.
Shedding? I'll have you know that we can't keep a bird here. There's no space and feeding them costs money. So where's the bird?
That's not it. I was out today in the form of a bird. The feathers were stuck on my clothes.
What?
Are you a shapeshifter?
Huh? I was speechless. He sometimes said that he would shapeshift into a bird or a cat before going out. Uh-huh.
Interesting.
If he were some grand wizard, that would be possible. Although all of that was self-proclaimed. Then where did you go in that form?
I can't quite remember. It seems that my memories of long past have been lost.
He said that so brazenly. Whenever things became inconvenient for him, Ashen Hawk always said he had amnesia or was a ghost. Uh-huh. Whatever. I'll clean up, so can you move out of the way? I gathered up the feathers and brushed them to a corner of the room. He's so mysterious. There was some cat hair mixing with the dust, making it even worse. I mean, either he can shapeshift or he's very dedicated to messing with us and has collected cat hair and feathers specifically to do this. Sounds like a lot of work, though. Aw, you made him cry. Come on, move out of the way! Sweep, sweep, sweep. I swept under the chair Ashen Hawk was sitting on. He lifted up his feet with a troubled look and then escaped to the shelves.
It seems as though the master of this place is being chased out.
Please follow the directions of the staff, at least during cleaning. I finished cleaning around the desk and went to the windowsill. After finishing there, I went along the walls.
I get the feeling you're chasing me around.
I'm just cleaning in order. I'm doing the shelves next.
Uh-oh.
There's a big piece of trash there. I'd better sweep it all up.
I get the feeling that you're treating the trash more nicely than me.
That's just you. At last, I was able to sweep it all outside the tower. Phew, much better now. Satisfied after finishing up, I closed the door before the cold air came in and looked around the room. Let's see what to do next.
Is there more?
Ashen Hawk had sought refuge near the windowsill and raised his brow. I slipped by him and opened the window. I cleaned the place, so it's better to get some fresh air.
Well, well. It seems like my cleaning servant wants to turn the inside of the tower into winter too.
I'm not your cleaning servant. I said I'm just getting fresh air.
Then I suppose it can't be helped.
I didn't know what he meant by that, but he went straight to the bed. He then jumped on it and rolled around. It was still the middle of the day. What are you doing?
Care to join me?
I'm asking what you're doing.
I wanted to get into bed before I froze.
Aren't you embarrassed about rolling up in your blankets while the sun's still up?
Don't you think it's a waste to use something so comfortable only at night?
You may say that, but you sleep all day, all the time. If the bed could talk, I bet it would plead to have some time alone.
Oh, really? Well, I better teach it to appreciate a person's warmth then.
What are you talking about? Just get up! Ashen Hawk appeared bent on sleeping, so I tore the sheets away from him. If I didn't do that, he would just hang around lazily all day.
Jed, I'm enjoying a very important date right now.
I should wash the sheets, too. It'll help me sleep at night.
Encounters are all about timing. If you miss out on this timing, a precious moment will be lost.
Don't make up some grandiose excuse just to sleep in.
Oh, brother. You really are so...
I thought I heard him speak in a restless tone, but suddenly my vision went dark. Oh? What's happening now? Ah!
I see you really want my attention.
How did you come to that conclusion? Before I realized that Ashen Hawk had dragged me into the bed with him. I wondered. Hey!
Now let's get in together before we freeze from the cold.
I never said I was cold!
Then perhaps you were lonely. When you told me not to stay in bed, you were just craving attention, weren't you?
I never said that! I tried to get out, but he was holding me down with the blanket.
Oh my, your cheeks are flushed. Did you catch a cold?
He's doing this on purpose. Obviously. I could feel Ashen Hawk's breath on me, and his long hair tickled my cheek. This felt embarrassing, no matter how much I resisted. Stop this! If someone sees us, it'll look terrible.
Oh, really? I think it would look heartwarming.
You're the only one that would think that! If someone else sees us, they'll get mad, wondering if we did this every day.
Every day? I wouldn't know about that, because I have no memories.
There he goes again, changing the subject. I looked at Ashen Hawk's face. His eyes were fixed elsewhere. His blank stare made me feel like I shouldn't brush off his comment about not having memories. But this situation is different. Can you move, Ashen Hawk? I said that angrily because I knew it would not stop otherwise. Ashen Hawk started patting my hair with a troubled look on his face.
I thought it was a nice suggestion for rare occasions. Don't you think you'd sleep better with human contact?
Don't go to sleep in the middle of the day to begin with.
Then it's all right at night.
You can go to sleep, but you're sleeping alone. You know I'm a woman, so it just makes you that much more of a bastard.
True. It's ungentlemanly of me to drag a lady into bed.
He finally released me from the bed. I mean, I didn't mind the ungentlemanliness, but that's just me, I guess. I shut the window before he could come up with another excuse. By the way, what were you looking at earlier? I glanced at the bottle on the desk, shining in the light.
Oh, this? It's always been here.
There's nothing inside, but the color of the bottle is pretty.
Yes. I don't know why, but I wanted to shine it under a light.
The pale blue color was beautiful, but the bottle was empty. I had wondered what the point was of looking at an empty bottle, but the glittering side of it was mesmerizing. So where did you get it?
I don't remember.
I knew he would say that. I started lecturing Ashen Hawk for his behavior. If you have time to stare at the things in the tower, you should at least do a little cleaning. It's no wonder you didn't notice all those feathers on the floor.
It's true that I never minded it.
Also, don't climb into bed during the day. You're a grown man, so act like it. And who in their right mind would drag someone into bed to gloss over that fact? I have work to do, you know.
The kind of work that would vanish if you took a little break is not that important of a job in the first place.
I don't want to hear that from someone who doesn't work.
True. You're quite strict today. You don't give any leeway to the ghost who wanders this tower.
And that!
What?
That too, Master. You always bring up how you're a ghost or have amnesia to avoid talking about it. Even if you don't have your memories, you can still clean.
Then I'll try to do so, starting tomorrow.
He said that as he climbed back into bed, so I rushed over to take his blanket away. Oh, this guy's a mood. You're going to say you forgot about it tomorrow. I'm going to wash the sheets, so get out of bed.
Do I have to?
He replied with a saddened face. Why was he so fixated on the bed? I mean, who doesn't want to snuggle in bed in the middle of the day? It's great. Unbelievable. Just on his appearance alone, he looked like some kind of aristocrat, but on the inside... Ashen Hawk was older, but Levon and Levi were much more mature.
Then you leave me no choice. I shall borrow your blankets.
What are you talking about? I'm not lending them to you. Really, just unbelievable. This boy, I swear. Murder rumors. Apparently I went back to town and came back. I asked around town a little more before returning to the tower. It appeared empty, with Ashen Hawk nowhere in sight. Shock. I should get some lunch. I might be able to think better on a full stomach. How should I go about looking for the Kaleidovia? I tried to think while stoking the fireplace. A cinder flickered an orange color. I used a scoop to take the piece into the kitchen stove to start a fire. Maybe I should make soup. I'll make a little bit extra so I can just reheat it for dinner. Before I started cooking, I took a slice of frozen bread and placed it near the fire. Then I chopped up an onion and a carrot into uniform pieces before stir-frying them in the pan. I threw in some fragrant parsley and continued cooking until it started to wilt and poured in some water. Girl looks very happy cooking. As it continued to simmer, I skimmed off the film that formed on the top and let it sit on the stove. That should do it! In the meanwhile, I checked the food stores to see what was left. We still had plenty of root vegetables, but not much bread. I should also buy some wheat when the prices go down. As for fish... well, I haven't had that in a while. Yeah? As the vegetables started to lose their shape, I threw in some beets and a little salt and simmered it some more. Usually I'd add some meat or bacon. Ah yes, the two different kinds of meat. All the other meat and bacon. Unfortunately, my financial situation didn't allow for that. Let's check the bread. Okay, it's much softer now. I would have toasted it rather, but I was going to eat it with soup, so that wasn't a problem. Right when I took a bowl from the cupboard, my vision went dark. Not again. Now what? Whoa!
Eating a feast when the master is absent. You're a hopeless servant, you know that.
Ashen Hawk. Why do you keep covering my eyes? Because I sounded irritated, Ashen Hawk quickly removed his cape from my eyes. Just tosses it over you.
Hi there. You're making such an angry face.
I keep telling you to stop messing with me while I'm preparing food.
Excuse me, then. I was attracted to the aroma.
Well, I would appreciate it if you showed up earlier. Now I have to do extra work. I took out another slice of the hardened bread and lightly toasted it over the fire in the kitchen stove. The fragrance wafted into the air. I put it into a small basket for the dinner table. The bowls were filled with soup now, completing a humble lunch at the tower.
What a feast this is!
No need for sarcasm. You'd better not complain about how there's no meat in it.
No, I'm saying this from the heart. Your cooking always makes every meal a feast.
Why, thank you. Then why don't you eat up before it gets cold, master?
Gladly.
After smiling, Ashen Hawk sat down at the table. The steamy soup and bread had a rich flavor and warmth that hit the spot. Maybe I should have added another pinch of salt.
It's plenty good. It really warms me up.
Were you out somewhere, Ashen Hawk?
Yes, I was flying about these cloudy skies. I'm glad that it won't be snowing.
Uh-huh. I'm jealous of how you can live so freely.
And you appear to be running about restlessly as always.
Of course. Bread and vegetables don't appear out of thin air.
Then let me tell you of a rumor I heard through the grapevine. It's not a happy one, though.
What kind of rumor?
There have been many strange corpses found around town, usually limited to secluded places.
I had heard of this before. They were the serial murders that Lugus was investigating. I'm curious about these bodies, because it seems like this is a relatively small town. Like, with the number of bodies that everyone keeps mentioning, I feel like you know, some of these side characters that we have sprites for would start to die off, right? I mean, it seems like a fairly small town, but maybe it's a little bit bigger than I'm imagining. Was there another murder?
You knew about it. It's not exactly recent news, but there have been too many instances altogether.
That ought to attract attention, but I'm surprised the culprit hasn't been caught yet.
A murderer might be very good at hiding. They call it the Black Shadow. Maybe because they have no idea what it looks like.
The Black Shadow. I tried to remember the murder scene I saw before. Lugus was investigating it and told me what weapon the murderer used. I'm like, is this a flashback? Or it started out black and white and then changed to color.
The serial killer.
Serial killer? Were those bloodstains?
If you aren't the culprit, then leave. I'll arrest you the next time I see you.
Wait. Why are you doing this, Lugus?
This was used in the crime.
This is... a knife like a hawk feather.
Knife? What about it?
I heard that the murder weapon was a knife with a motif of a hawk feather. There was something odd about that, and they said that it's reason to believe the murderer is with the Hawk clan.
I see. A hawk feather.
But a hawk wouldn't do something so obvious. It would just intensify the feud. Ashen Hawk nodded and soaked up some soup with his bread. We stopped talking. I wondered why Ashen Hawk had nothing more to say about it, but I continued eating.
I prefer meals that are warm and remain in the heart rather than needlessly extravagant ones.
Huh?
It's not good to see only with your eyes. Appearances are not everything. The darkness in the hearts of people is invisible.
Oh, thanks, Zemnis. I needed that. It's true that I'd never cared much about the appearance of my cooking. I always thought the taste and cost were much more important. But that's not the point here. I stared at Ashen Hawk's face as he continued eating like nothing happened. I'm sure what he said had meaning, but when I tried to remember what I knew of the incident, I just got even more confused. So it's not the doing of a hawk? There's a chance they're deliberately leading people into thinking that way. Committing murders in this tightly knit town is just asking to be caught. The darkness in human hearts. Ashen Hawk laughed from across the table.
Jed, your soup is getting cold.
Whose fault do you think that is?
We shouldn't have talked about this over a meal anyway. May I have the soup for tonight, too?
He was the one who started this, so it was somewhat annoying. He had finished the soup and, of course, the bread basket. I did make some extra.
Then I'll look forward to it for dinner. It's always fun to watch the time pass when you have a great cook.
I'm not a cook. I pouted a little while clearing the table. I finished cleaning up and got ready to go out. I saw Ashen Hawk sitting down to read a book. He also moved the fire back to the living room from the kitchen stove, and it was glowing brightly.
Are you going out again? How about staying at home and taking it easy with a book once in a while?
Ashen Hawk, you just want an excuse to sit down. I have work to do.
Oh, that's too bad. I found some text that you might be interested in.
Huh? What is it?
Here, this. When you have mashed potatoes accompanying sliced meat casserole, it brings out an indescribable taste.
It doesn't say that at all.
But I do. That's odd.
Don't give me that. You just want to eat meat.
It's like how you tend to drink more wine when you have food with a savory sauce.
If you want to complain, then go make enough money so that you can buy meat and bread.
I would if I could, But as a ghost, grabbing onto currency is harder than tying a ring around a cat's neck.
I guess you're right that getting someone lazy to work is harder than trying to tame a cat.
That's a clever comeback.
If you don't have anything else to say, I'll be going now. I'm on a search for something, so I don't have any time to waste.
Going on a search is fine and everything, but be wary of walking around in secluded places. There are rather dastardly deeds afoot.
Dastardly deeds? How scandalous. I think I know which places are dangerous, so you don't have to worry.
Never be overconfident, Jed.
Ashen Hawk's voice was slightly tense as I turned around to look at him. But when I did that, he returned it with a gentle smile.
No matter what clothes you wear, you are still a woman. It doesn't hurt to be careful.
I was at a loss for words at that sudden warning. I didn't know how to respond when he treated me like a woman.
Just don't make me worry about you too much. I can't live on without you.
That feels oddly accurate. The tower does need a cook and a servant, after all. Oh, Jed, but what if he actually likes you, though? Maybe?
That's right. And you should return before the fog gets any thicker.
Fine. I'll be careful.
Good girl.
Ashen Hawk always said things that flustered me. Yeah, I'm right there with you. But when he worries for me so seriously because I'm a woman, I felt my ears grow flushed. I didn't think it was too big a deal.
Jed, do you want to warm up next to me before you go?
No thanks! I'll be going now!
Take care.
I hated how he seemed to be able to read my mind. I decided to just go. Oh, the gust. It's cold. The moment I took a step outside the tower, I felt discouraged. How nice it would be if I could just read a book by the stove. No, if I start saying that, I'll be no different from Ashen Hawk. He was lazy and hated any kind of work. If I didn't take care of him, he wouldn't even be able to live. He said so himself, so it really had to be that bad. But if I have to say it, he is kind. I thought about it. If he were nothing but a drag, I would hesitate to associate with him at all. No. Whenever I returned from the biting cold and the darkness, seeing his usual smile lessened the shivering of my body just a little. Without even knowing it, I had already forgotten the cold and continued down the path toward town.